So I'm here to talk about how I tested clear quartz crystals. I tried the amethyst, which was touched a few times by people because it's so pretty. It's so pretty in purple, and it was in need of cleansing and charging. When I tested it, it didn't work until I cleansed and charged it. It worked. I used a machine that helps me read my sugar levels. You put the stick in there and you prick your finger and you put a little bit of blood on it and you read your sugar levels. Someone playing loud music out the front, which you wouldn't hear, which is a good idea, but you can't. You got to pay for the music. I'm wearing clear quartz crown because of its healing ability, and I bought it from an Australian lady, makes them on Etsy. And they're quite healing. I also did the test with my sugar test. At first, I tested myself a couple of times to make sure that I got the measurements of speed right, of coming down. And I was coming down 0.02, I think it was. It was a while ago now, about a month ago. But I really wanted to talk about crystals and their healing ability, and the tests I did using my machine to see if they'd bring my sugar down faster. They say quartz crystal is good for diabetics, so I put it to the test, and yes, it did bring it down faster than I was bringing myself down, and it was 0.2, 0.20 if you want, and at intervals of 5 minutes, so it was fast. I tried different crystals. I tried my fluorite. That worked. The amethyst didn't work, which I started to realize that it needed cleansing and recharging because people touched it. I don't let anyone touch my crystals anymore. Some people say that's cruel or stupid or something, but with the tests, it was, truth. So I cleansed it. It took me quite a long time to cleanse and recharge it the next day, and it started to bring the sugar levels down like a quartz does. 0.2. It's minute, but it was something. It was something, and for a diabetic, that's pretty good. Now, the crystals I used were polished and shaped. They've got inclusions in them. I use these. I have other ones I use now, which are much bigger and more natural. They're not shaped or polished. These brought them down 0.20. Now, the ones I use now bring it down more. For an example, I was 15 point after I ate food, naughty me. And these ones I bought on eBay. I went to the local crystal shop and she wanted an arm and a leg for one that's about the same size as this for $100, and I got it on eBay for $50. I didn't have to cleanse them because I don't know, clear quartz seems different to amethyst. It works still, maybe better when you cleanse it. But I didn't have to cleanse them. What I did was just held them for a couple of days, holding each one, making sure that my warmth was making it warm, putting all my energy into it. These bring down my sugar levels faster than I can bring myself down. And diabetics can prove it by testing it if they want to disapprove it or want to prove me wrong. She sold me these three for $45, and this is a Lemurian. Lucky, aren't I, to get that? And this one has a little baby on it. And that one's just a normal point, the same as the one with the baby. And they're not shaped, they're just natural. And that's what I like. This one is double terminated. $50 for this one. $45 for the other three together, and they work brilliantly on my sugar levels, bringing it down. All I've got to do is hold them. I don't have to pray or run them over me or anything, which I do anyway. I cleanse my aura with them because they're ones. Just grab my drink. So that's proof enough for me to use quartz crystal in aiding my diabetes and arthritis. If people say that crystals don't heal, they're wrong. They heal. All you need is one person with diabetic with their own machine to test themselves on how fast they're coming down, and then test each crystal. The amethyst started working the next day after it was cleansed. I don't let anyone touch it now. It stays in my bedroom. Oddly enough, the quartz crystals didn't need cleansing and charge, but I cleansed and charged them anyway. They work still the same way, 0.20 at intervals of 10 minutes? 10 minutes. Wasn't long. But these big ones, I can be, say, 15 after eating, and the big ones will bring me down to 9. Say, I think an hour, holding them, having them sit around me, they come down. I come down to 9, which normally takes me a long time, quite a few hours to come down to 9 naturally without crystals. And I also use hypnotherapy on my arthritis when I can, when there's no one around and It's peaceful and quiet. I know I've got the time to do it. But the crystals also aid in arthritis. They've been aiding me. I haven't been needing much of pain relief. And the doctor gave me pain relief, prescription for pain relief. And, well, I don't know if it works or not, because I use the crystals as well as taking pain relief when I can't use hypnotherapy. Not saying that the hypnotherapy works, but it does. With me it does, because I'm a hypnotherapist. And when you're a hypnotherapist, you can be hypnotized. Otherwise, you can't hypnotize other people. And I'm so easily hypnotized. So anyway, that's the evidence of crystals being healing. They do heal. There's this one woman I bought a crown from because they were selling the house, and to get housing these days, to find another house these days or unit would be impossible for me, because I have a dog I've had for 6 years, and I don't want to get rid of him. He's my watchdog. He's only little, but he barks, and he is good enough for me as a watchdog. To find housing these days is impossible. There's people living in the streets with families, and they come first before anyone else, and they're living in the streets, and the waiting list for a government house is 10 years, because that's how chock-a-block they are of people wanting housing. So I was really worried that a buyer would turf me out once it's bought, but it was bought by an investor, so I could stay. And because of that luck, I bought a crown. I collect crowns in that way. When something happens in my life that's good, I buy a crown, or a circlet, if you want to call them circlets. Some are circlets, or headpieces, off Etsy. Because I can't buy it from overseas, it'd take too long for me to get it. And if I even get it, I bought it from Australia, from a woman in Byron Bay. And she hand makes them, and I'll just go get it. I'll pause this. Okay, here it is. It's turquoise, and the shells are hand sewn into the back of it. It's all handmade, and I wear it now and again. Looks like horns. And with that being turquoise, this crown represents water. So every time I bought a water stone or crystal, I get this urge when they'd arrive. I get this urge. No, I wouldn't know that they were arriving. I'd get this urge to wear the crown, and every time I did, there would be a water stone delivered, water crystal delivered. Anything else that was delivered, I never had the urge to wear the crown. So that tells me that crowns are very special, and mine is very special. You have to get yourself a crown to experience the magic of them. You don't have to be a certain age. I'm 62 and I still wear crowns, and I still wear crystal crowns, and I still dabble in crystals and love them. So that's the story of first of all, the crown is turquoise beads handmade into the crown itself. It's string tie up at the back, and it's comfortable. You can wear. It's made for wearing, put it that way. So she sells them. You won't get the same one as that. She only makes one of a kind in her store, and she's on Etsy in Australia. And it's fairly cheap. It cost me $130, something like that. I can't remember, it was a while ago. But the urge that I get when water crystals are close, when I ordered them, I didn't get tracking number with them or anything because they're so small. They came in the mail. But my crown, being connected to water, can sense, and the need to wear it was must wear it, have to wear it. It had that force about it. So the turquoise also is healing and very magical when it's in a crown, which reminded me of an old saying about ancient burial. His crown was of turquoise. I forget who, might have been those pyramid people, Egyptians, ancient Egyptians. His crown was of turquoise or something, somewhere in ancient times. I remember reading it. It reminded me of that. No wonder they use turquoise on the crown, on the head, because of its magic abilities, the power it holds. Mine is really magical, my crown. I can tell when there's something watery around. Like when it's going to rain, I get an urge to wear it. Not as much as an urge when I buy crystals that are connected to water. Any other crystals, I didn't get any connection with it. Never wanted to, didn't even sense they were coming, and didn't even care. They just turned up in the mail and that was it. But when it's water, associated with water, if any of the, because I collect a lot of crystals now because of their healing abilities with the quartz and the tests I did using my little machine, I realized some are very powerful. And laurelite made me sense it was coming. And agni manatite as well. They're the only two that had some sort of effect on me wanting to wear my crown before they arrived, and I didn't know they were arriving. So gems do have energies. Crystals have energies. You don't need a machine to figure that one out because you can feel it yourself. Me being more open to them now, I don't use the machine, but after I've used it to prove, because I didn't believe it, and so I used my machine to work it out if they did have any healing abilities or anything at all. And quartz crystals amazed me. they just amazed me with the healing ability, and they're so abundant. There's so many quartz crystal out there, you can buy it anywhere. People even make them, grow their own. I mean, they're so easy to get, so easy, but getting harder sometimes because you don't know if they're earth or man-made. And the earth ones, well, they would work better in a more gentle way, like mine are pretty. I don't know if they're man-made or natural, but I think they're natural because the man-made ones would take too long to grow that big, and they'd use them for computers and things like that. Where I think mine are natural because they work stronger. And the crown is turquoise, and it works with other crystals, like sensing things. I don't know how to explain it, but after the tests, before the tests, I was, no, I don't believe these work, I had a blockage about myself with crystals. I had crystals, and these two I already had because, I don't know, I was in a shop and I bought them anyway. I had no intentions or didn't realize they're healing or whatever. But before I did the tests, I was definitely a non-believer of crystal healing. After the tests I did, I'm a believer of crystals healing. They are definitely healing. Some have different energies, like the agni-manatite, that affected me differently. The energy, I had so much energy. I was, playing Pink Floyd and all these other musics, heavy rock. I was, to the music, and the energy, it was youthful energy, it was playful energy, and I loved it so much. And then I went out to the mailbox to see if the postman has been, and my agni-manatite was waiting in our mailbox. I thought, wow, it's here. Put it on, and I'll just go get it. Okay, this is the laurelite that had an energy that connected to my crown that made me want to wear it. And that was before it even came near my mailbox. The energy in that one is amazing. I'll show you closer. Laurelite is associated with water. It looks like water. This is my agni-manatite. It came in a pouch. I bought it from the lady I bought the crystals from. That cost me $95, $45 for the 3 wands, and an extra one, double terminated wand, was $50. This is the agni-manatite that gave me youthful energy. Because I'm more open to it now, because I proved to myself that crystals do heal with my little machine equipment, I am now more open to crystals. And this had an amazing energy. playing loud music and bopping along to it and everything. It was, I never had it again, I suppose. I haven't been wearing it. It had this amazing energy, and I wanted to wear my crown with it. Really urging, didn't care if anybody saw me. It's hard to explain. You've got to, when you get a crown, you've got to wear it to infuse it with yourself before it can really work how you expect it to. Mine being water, with the shells, and the turquoise must represent water in some way. I don't know. They must do for it to work with shells and to have that energy sense about it with other water items like agni-manatite. They say it's the new moldavite. Agni-manatite is also called the pearl of fire. I can see why, because of how much energy. The energy is just abundant. I was tired the next day. The energy drained out of me pretty quick because it wasn't my energy, or borrowed energy, or it's hard to explain. The agni-manatite has its own abundant energy. You don't need to wear it. You can just sit it around. And it'll still work. The laurelite had amazing energy for a little stone. It was at the, say, half a kilometre away when I sensed it. When I mean sensed it, when I wanted to wear my crown there was no reason to wear my crown, I just wanted to wear it. Normally I wear it on a Sunday sometimes to get rid of that feeling of Sundayness, and it does work. But I wore it when I first got it to infuse it with me. That's what you've got to do with your crowns, is infuse with them and then put them away for when something happens and then you have this urge to wear it. So that's all I've got to say about crystals. They do heal. All you need is someone with diabetes that is willing to check themselves a couple of times and check each crystal if they come down on it. Maybe what works for some people may not work for others, but for me it worked. Crystals are healing for quartz crystals healing for diabetes. Amethyst, not so much. You have to really super cleanse that one, and then it works. But you have to keep it cleansed all the time and recharged with your own energy, no one else's. It works for me. That's all, I guess. The big crystals that I bought, 3 together, they were really brilliant. Like I was, say, 15, I think I was, 15 point in sugar levels, and holding them for about an hour, I came down to 9 point, which was really fast. That was after I had them for a while and put my energy into them. It took me a couple of days because they're pretty big to cleanse and recharge. But the little crystals that I used for testing whether to bring the sugar levels down, whether they work or not, were these. And they worked, and they're polished and shaped. So that's all for now. Have a good day and enjoy your crystals.